And ABC News contributor and criminal defense attorney Shauna Lloyd has more on this trial. Shauna, what do you make of this former detective's testimony and how he says he kind of unexpectedly got this confession?
So what we're looking at, Diane, is the prosecution really laying out this idea to corroborate the statements that Keffe D made in the book. And here we have an officer that was not investigating the Tupac murder, and he independently and spontaneously made these statements tying himself to the Tupac murder. So that allows them to corroborate these statements. And it's really important because let's remember, this was not something they asked him about. This was something that he just volunteered, which tends to give the idea to the jury that this was more credible and that he was being honest when he said it.
Now the court is going to hear Davis's confession today. At least that's what we expect. What do you think that does for the prosecution and the defense here, given his attorney's trying to convince a jury that what his own client said in that confession is a lie?
So what that gives is it gives a jury the ability to make an assessment about the way it sounds, if they feel it was credible, exactly what wording was used. That's always really important because context changes the way people interpret things. So the jury gets to hear it firsthand for themselves, and that's important so they can make that assessment as to the credibility of this statement.
Documentary filmmaker Mike Dorsey spoke on ABC News Live's Burden of Proof. He's credited with helping push authorities to reopen this investigation into Keffe D. Dorsey told our Ike Ajachi that he plans to take the stand. How critical do you think his testimony will be?
I think it's going to be quite critical for the jury because here we have someone who isn't objective. They're objective when they give this testimony. He was doing documentary. He was doing a lot of research. He was looking into things. So he's going to have an independent view of what was happening and the information that he's going to provide. So I think for the jury, that's going to carry a lot of weight. Juries tend to like objective evidence. It doesn't come from the defendant himself. It is someone who was present and who was investigating and observing at the time. So this gives them a little bit more context and a little bit more information about what was happening back then because this crime happened so long ago. They want that perspective.
Shauna Lloyd, thank you. And you can see more on the trial by watching Burden of Proof right here on ABC News Live every weekday, 5:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Eastern.